pretty red wet ring volcanic rocks here. Not exactly sure what, probably basalt or dacite or andesite. But they do make a nice red color. Yeah, probably like an andesite. So you've got sort of a dark gray color, got the little white bits in there, crystals and mineral plagioclase, which is pretty common in andesite. It's got little brecciated areas beneath this big massive part, so it's probably suggested it was part of an flow. So if you ever go to Hawaii, there are two kinds of flows. There's the smooth ropey one, which is called Pohohoi. Which basically only basalt flows like that. And then there's the more chunky kind of lava flow, where it cools down on the outside of the flow and breaks up into chunks. They're called And so this sort of breccia here made of little chunks of the lava of whatever kind it is. Here it looks maybe more like basalt. Sometimes it's hard to tell without a chemical analysis. But so the sort of this kind of breccia you often get above and below an flow. So the middle stays molten, completely molten, and cools to a massive layer like that, like those cliffs over there. But then above and below the flows, you get these breccia layers. And so in this cliff, maybe a little hard to see, but basically the more resistant, darker parts are the massive cores of the flow, where it's just the lava cooled in one big layer, and then the red chunky parts with little bits sticking out of them, those are the breccias, which where the top and the bottom of the flow broke up into that like texture. Really, you know, I say break up along the top, not really, they just break up along the top, but as they flow, the stuff on top rolls down the front of the flow and then gets bulldozed over by the core of the flow. So the stuff that starts out on the top ends up on the bottom as it rolls along. Some other kind of volcanic breccias over on this side looks like a more felsic breccia by the light color of the rocks. But they're all the same color, so that's usually a good sign that it's a volcanic origin breccia. Because it's usually made from a whole bunch of usually out of a thick felsic lava that piles up into one of these lava domes and then collapses. So that when it collapses, the breccia is made of all chunks of that same kind of lava. Here's a nice little tiny unconformity. You can see there's the volcanic breccia in red on the bottom, and then these layered breccias on top are a sedimentary breccia. So see, these stuff still has angular clast, but it's more brown in color and it has more obvious layering. So this is a breccia laid down by an alluvial fan or a stream like the one we're standing in. And this is probably, you know, like 10,000 years old or something like that. And then the red breccia with all the same color stones with no bedding in it is volcanic and probably about 25 million years old. See, there's a really nice exposure of that unconformity along here.